good morning, Facebook viewers. My name is Tom Lowy. I'm a reporter and columnist from the Galesburg Register-Mail. But today, I'm kind of just a cameraman. I'm here with Rebecca Susmarski. She's a reporter from the Galesburg Register-Mail. Rebecca, what are we doing right now?
We are at something very exciting, Tom. We're here at the opening of the Galesburg Underpass, which has been under construction since March 1st of last year. It's been a long road. Galesburg has been waiting a long time. Things have been closed, cutting off some access here. So we're all very excited for it to start and be able to get through this rain again into the downtown area.
First surprising thing about the underpass is that it is loud under here.
Yes. So it's very loud. Yes.
So you've been milling about with your notebook open and your pen furiously scribbling. What have you found out so far today?
Well, I found out, and this is actually over the course of a year or two, this is the third of 3 grade separations for the city. So we had the Mother Bickerdike Bridge and we had the Don Moffat Overpass. Those were completed, and this is the third and final one. It was named after Reverend Jon A. Sibley, who is a huge community leader,
right.
Participated in so many community organizations, Illinois State Police, very important central figure. So we couldn't think of a better person to name this underpass after, and this will commence, the opening of the third and final one.
So the big news after the Sibley dedication is that the governor's here.
Yes, yes.
So what, do you know, why did Bruce Rauner, and it's a great thing, why did Bruce Rauner decide to attend?
You know, that's a great question, and I'm going to talk to them afterwards. I just found out yesterday that they're coming myself, but I knew that we have some state representatives here. We have people from the city, but the county board president just walked by. So
right.
We have a huge amount of people from all different segments of local government represented. And I didn't know, like you say, the governor was coming until just yesterday. So it'll be interesting to hear why he thought to attend this.
Okay. Well, hopefully things get started here fairly soon. It's really filling up. A lot of people.
Yes, yeah, definitely. I think what's really great about these events is you see people from all segments of the community come out, enjoy some refreshments, and take pride in Galesburg. This is a project that's been in the works for a long time, and we're really proud to see it coming to life today.
Okay, thank you.
Because we gotta have our honor guard come right through here.
Oh, jeez, I'm sorry.
So we're gonna.
Yeah, I don't want to be in the way of it.
With you with the tripod, I'm really not.
Camera lines, please.
Yep, I'm working on it.
Yeah, mind, folks. Would you folks mind moving past? All right. Excuse me, ma'am. I need to move back. Thank you so much. All right.
I think they're about to start, so I'm going to sign off. The honor guard is coming in.
All right, here we go.
You as the reference point. So
Pardon me?
we're using you as a reference point.
Oh, you're using me as a reference point. Uh-oh.
They told us to go behind you.
Where everybody at?
Yeah.
Well, I'll be your reference point.
I know. We're trying to go behind you.
So there we are. We were in the way of the Illinois Honor Guard. Leave it to me to be in the way. It looks like workers and dogs and people and all kinds of people here. So just to let people know what we're doing here, Rebecca Susmarski and I are here, and we're attempting to report on the opening of the Sibley Underpass, the Jon A. Sibley Underpass, which has been a little over a year, and it, you know, like March to July essentially. Not a bad, you know, not a bad rate of build really.
No, and actually what's interesting or fascinating is they wanted to start, or they had it on time, they said by August, which was the initial date, but then the city kind of tried to set up to May, July, given the weather, which actually ended up not happening. So it might have felt like it was the next schedule. I know people seem to this time, but it was over scheduled.
Right. I think people were right there. So stand right there so the mic can pick you up. There you go. I think people were really kind of exhausted by this one after 3. Don't you think?
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's really good just to see it done and over with. I heard a lot of business owners complaining. I actually did a story on it back in December, January, about how people couldn't get in.
Right.
Students coming to visit Knox couldn't get into the town. It was kind of hard. Now, I do think personally the routes were really well done.
Right.
They were kind of easy to get through. But
They were the best we had, that's for sure. Like, we did the best. I know that Discovery Depot will have a level of relief when this is over because a lot of traffic was routed around them. And if you go and look at the road work around there, they're going to have to do some, which had just been done a couple of years ago, like remodeled, like that intersection with the train crossing. That grade area had been worked on and repaired, and they're gonna need to go back and probably do it again. Maybe just some cosmetic work, but I also think some curb work because heavy trucks were riding all through there. I used to sit and watch on my lunch break at Discovery Depot. The amount of traffic that went through that area, you know, past the post office and around the curve at Discovery Depot, and then turning around, or big trucks having to go up on the median. So it'll be a relief, I think. What the grade separations do is, in a lot of ways, they ease the demands on other infrastructure. Yes. If that makes any sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So other roads certainly, and so when you have an ease up on the other roads, then you have an ease on the curbs and the sewers and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. Not to mention, you don't have to be stuck behind a train for 20 minutes to get to work. So.
Right, exactly. I know a lot of people, last night a lot of people contacted me like just to make sure that it was really happening. I heard that it's going to be tomorrow. Is that real? You know, that kind of deal. So I know there's a lot of inconvenience, but you know, I talked to some people from the city also, and they said, you know, the safety aspects and it's worth the effort. Yeah. So what?
I was curious to ask you about this because I actually was not in Galesburg during the completion of the other two.
Right.
Keep moving. You're going to get hit by the flag if you don't move, please.
So we're still the benchmark, or the? Okay. All right. I just if you need my butt back, let me know. All right. Yeah, you know, I think the Moffett Bridge was first, okay, and that runs out to the west. You know, it takes you to Henderson Street essentially, and I think now I can't speak for the businesses in that immediate area, right? But there weren't any restaurants or anything, so you know, I don't think that impact was quite as profound as Bickerdike and Sibley. So Moffett was certainly important, but in a way, you have a lot more access to kind of cut down to that west side. Like if your goal is Henderson, you can take Losey, you can take Farnham, you know what I mean? Like, so you can travel west, both on the north side and the south side, with some minor interruption, right? Bickerdike was maybe a bigger deal, and I think it had more of a maybe footprint, and I don't want to frame this in a negative way, but I think it had more of a footprint on, number one, residential people, because it kind of curves from, you know, Kellogg into Seminary, and that impacted residential life in a way that differed from Moffett. And I do think that there was a more serious economic, that's where you start to see the economics of it, you know. That's when I started hearing from restaurant owners and bartenders, and you know what was interesting yesterday? Every morning I go and get my iced coffee at McDonald's, right? And so the lady at the drive-thru asked me, "Hey, are they opening that underpass tomorrow?" And I said, "Yeah, they're right on schedule." And she said, "Man, we're looking forward to getting our traffic back." So even as far away as East Main Street, okay, which is on the, I'm sorry, even as far away as East Main Street going east, you know, they were saying that the closure here impacted McDonald's traffic on East Main, which I found kind of, and that's anecdotal. Like the thing that and I've talked to you and I've talked to Jay and we've talked about is the thing I'd love to see is like a study on the economic impact that the closures had. I think it'd be interesting to know, what kind of challenges the restaurants and businesses, especially in the downtown area, faced.
Right, to see the data and
right.
The actual concrete numbers, like how much did the service go down, how many people came to the doors.
Right.
Yeah, that would be really fascinating.
Right. This is definitely a happy day, huh, Rebecca?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. And it's good to get the community out for these things.
That's giving you rabbit ears.
You should. How are you? Do you want to get in front of the camera? I know you don't.
No, I've got stress fractures.
Oh no!
That's from trying to be doing too much yard work.
Is it from the mean cat?
No. I needed dirt hauled in my front yard and I asked a guy to load some dirt and didn't, so I decided to take them on myself to go to Walmart and get individual bags. So half a ton of dirt via 30 bags.
Wow.
3 trips hauling and stuff, and it did my wrist in.
Wow.
So yeah, I think I'm Super Judy, but I'm not. I'm just kind of happy Super Judy.
You know what? You're Super Judy, but you just gotta pace yourself. That's what you gotta face.
Well, I thought I was pacing myself.
Oh wow.
No, I'm trying to get. Oh, there's Governor Browner. Oh my goodness, that's the first time I've ever seen him in person.
We just found out he was coming yesterday. I had no idea.
So that's what a billionaire looks like.
Exactly. You're on live video, just so you know.
That's why we were talking about.
So just to let folks know, you're joined by Tom Lowy and Rebecca Suzmarsky. Sorry, Rebecca. You're like my last name. Your last name is not exactly easy to pronounce sometimes, right? No. But so we're here live at the Sibley Underpass opening, and I'm going to pan over here and show you that Bruce Rauner has arrived. That's Kent House's head. Okay. So as the train's going over, perfect timing, right?
Yes. Most expensive awning that's ever been built. So I'd like to welcome everyone today to come. This is a big day in Galesburg. We're here to do a couple of things. One is cut the ribbon and open up this new underpass, and to honor and remember Reverend Jon A. Sibley Sr. So. walked in here with former Alderman Ken Goad, who told me several times in the last few years that he never thought he'd live to see this completed. Well, you did. You're here. All right, I'm going to ask everyone to please stand for the national anthem. Alexa Eastbrook will be singing it. The Illinois State Police Honor Guard will present the colors. Thank you.
Color guard. All 10. Hook. Carry. Colors. Ready. 2. Forward. Hurt. Up. 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 Color. Color. Breathe back. Arm.
I knew you'd be here. Hey. We are at the opening of the Jon A. Sibley Underpass. We're at the opening ceremonies and just finished with the national anthem and the Pledge of Allegiance.
As I mentioned earlier, I'm very pleased to be here today. I'm happy that the Galesburg City Council enthusiastically supported the naming of this underpass after the Reverend Jon A. Sibley Sr. And I have more to say later, but at this point I'd like to introduce the Illinois Secretary of Transportation, Brandy Blankenhorst.
Today is a great day for the people of Illinois, a great day for the people of Knox County, a great day for the people of Galesburg. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Most importantly, we're celebrating a true Illinois hero, a true American hero, Jon Sibley. Jon Sibley is a hero. He's a veteran, he's an Illinois State Trooper, and a reverend, a man of God, a man of peace. Let's hear it for Jon Sibley. America is the greatest nation on earth. We are the world's beacon of freedom and hope and justice and democracy. And that's because of one reason: the service of our men and women in uniform, our veterans. Let's hear it for the veterans of the United States of America. And we are standing with heroes today and all across the state of Illinois. Our heroes who keep us safe from those who would do us harm, who put their lives on the line to keep us safe. Our police officers here in Galesburg and around Illinois. Let's hear it for our police officers. God bless our police officers. Today we celebrate a great accomplishment. This underpass is just one step we take every day to improve the quality of life for the people of Illinois. We want to increase safety. We want to increase economic development and economic growth and bring more jobs. We want to eliminate congestion and improve the quality of life for the residents here and the commuters and the travelers here. That's what this underpass does. It's a great example of a public-private partnership. This has resources invested. Out of the $26.5 million for this project, the state of Illinois chipped in $9 million. But BNSF Railroad contributed millions of dollars. City of Galesburg invested millions of dollars. The federal government invested millions of dollars. And as a result, we have a beautiful underpass here, increasing the quality of life, increasing safety, reducing congestion, and a great step forward for an outstanding community here in Galesburg. God bless you. Great time to celebrate. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Governor. I now would like to call to the podium State Representative Dan Swanson. And he has a few words to say and maybe something to read.
Good morning, and what an honor to be here to speak to you today on this beautiful day. And thank you, Mrs. Sibley, for being here, your family, your church. I recognize the church members here, and for that we say thank you, and what a blessing to have that support. I'm going to begin my comments by reading a letter from my colleague, State Representative Noreen Hammond, who's unable to be here today because she's traveling. And I also will read the Senate Joint Resolution number 47, introduced by Senator Chuck Weaver and then sponsored by both Representative Hammond and myself in the House. I'd like to start with Noreen's comments. She said, I sincerely regret that I'm unable to join you today to celebrate the life and legacy of Reverend Jon Sibley. Jon was devoted to his family, his faith, and Galesburg community. Jon didn't look for praise or recognition for his service. Rather, he served with the hope that he was making a difference in the lives of others. Indeed, he did. Teen court, drug court, hospice, school volunteer, church elder, police and fire commission, and Carl Sandburg College Board. Jon was a tireless advocate for this community, and his infectious smile, I always remember his smile. It is right and fitting that we honor Reverend Jon Sibley today by naming the East Main Street underpass of the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad tracks in Galesburg as the Reverend Jon A. Sibley Senior Underpass. I am honored to join with my colleagues, Representative Dan Swanson and Senator Chuck Weaver, as sponsors in the 100th General Assembly. Best regards, Noreen Hammond, State Representative, 93rd District. I'd like to now read the resolution. Whereas it is highly fitting that the Illinois General Assembly honor those who have served their country, state, and community. And whereas Jon A. Sibley was a lifelong resident and supporter of the city of Galesburg. And whereas Jon A. Sibley devoted his professional life to serving his country, state, and community through his service in the United States Air Force, the Illinois State Police, and the Galesburg Police Department. Whereas Jon A. Sibley faithfully supported his community as a pastor at Full Gospel Church. And whereas Jon A. Sibley provided leadership to his community through his involvement in numerous organizations, including the Carl Sandburg College Board of Trustees, the Streets Dads Mentoring Program at Galesburg High School, the Galesburg Fire and Police Commission, the Galesburg chapter of the NAACP, the Knox County YMCA Board, and the Knox County Teen Court Board, and the Knox County Drug Court Board. And whereas Jon A. Sibley was awarded the Galesburg Chamber of Commerce Thomas B. Herring Community Service Award. Therefore, be it resolved by the Senate of the 100th General Assembly of the State of Illinois, the House of Representatives concurring herein, that the East Main Street Underpass of the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad tracks in Galesburg is designated as the Reverend Jon A. Sibley Senior Underpass. And be it further resolved that the Illinois Department of Transportation is requested to erect at a suitable location, consistent with state and federal regulations, appropriate plaques or signs giving notice of the name of the Reverend Jon A. Sibley Senior Underpass. And now, if I may, I'd like to present some of my comments. The phrase that comes to mind when I think of Reverend Jon A. Sibley Sr. is servant leader. John was devoted to serving through his faith by living life as a faithful servant to God, ministering to young and old, mentoring so many youth, teenagers, young adults, taking on the responsibility to serve all in need through his many community activities. He served with numerous community organizations, and it was due to his leadership, dedication, and devotion, we remember him as a faithful servant leader. John was a servant leader to his country by serving in the United States Air Force, serving his state as an Illinois State Trooper, and giving back to his community, serving with the Galesburg Police Department and pastor at Full Gospel Church. He was proud of his professional service, wearing the many uniforms and also the cloth as a pastor. I cannot think of anyone more fitting who lived his life every day as a servant leader to so many and respected by all with a pay-it-forward gift of giving and caring for so many. In November 2013, Reverend Jon A. Sibley was the surprise recipient of the Thomas B. Herring Community Service Award. He received the award during the 35th Annual Community Thanksgiving Luncheon. During his acceptance speech, he said, "I never look for accolades because I believe you've got to help somebody else, to help somebody else." It is with his attitude of helping, teaching, and inspiring others to succeed and serving his life as a servant leader, I'm proud to stand here today at the East Main Street Underpass of the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad tracks in Galesburg is designated as the Reverend Jon A. Sibley Senior Underpass. And I'd like to present you with a special gift, Mrs. Sibley. And I'd ask Governor Rauner to help me. But today, this year, we celebrate Illinois' 200th bicentennial anniversary of Illinois becoming a state. And it's with that honor and recognition I'd like to present you with the state flag of Illinois and also a certificate signed by Governor Rauner, Jesse White, and myself, certifying that this flag was flown on the top of the state capitol.
before we started today, I bet there would be at least 3 trains that crossed over. That's number 2. So, State Senator Chuck Weaver could not be here today, but he did send a statement, which I'd love to read it this morning, from Senator Weaver. It is my honor to join with those gathered here today to commemorate the lifetime of service of the Reverend Jon A. Sibley, a lifelong resident and supporter of the Galesburg community. It is a privilege to be the sponsor of the Senate Joint Resolution number 47, which designates the East Main Street Underpass to Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad Tracks in Galesburg as the Reverend Jon A. Sibley Senior Underpass. The Reverend Sibley devoted his life to service to others. His memory should remain as an inspiration to us all, as a model of service to our families, our communities, our state, and our country. The Reverend Jon A. Sibley Senior Underpass will serve as a reminder to those who live in and travel through Galesburg of his dedication and good works for the community. So with that, thank you to Senator Weaver. At this point, I'd like to ask Tony Bruckett to come up and make a few remarks.
Please bear with me. This is not just an honor today, but an emotional day. For a man that I love, cherish, a family I've come to be part of, that's accepting me as their family. I'm just grateful to be here. If I can get through my tears today, just bear with me. Hang on for a moment. But first of all, I want to greet you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit this morning. And on behalf of the Sibley family and the Full Gospel Church, I'd like to begin by saying thank you for coming today. Thank you for being here. Your presence is just a testament of who he was. Sister Vicki asked if I would say a few words. She said, pray about it. It didn't take long. I came back and said I'd be glad to say a few words. And thanks for entrusting me with this honor. I was blessed with the acquaintance of Pastor Sibley. Back then I knew him as Johnny. He wasn't my pastor. We didn't really know each other through leadership Greater Galesburg. But I found out right away he was a jokester. He had a laugh that was very contagious. And he had a great sense of humor. With that said, but when he was serious, we knew when he was serious. As I hung out with him practically almost every noon down at the Broadview, referred to as his office right in the middle of town. We did a lot of conversations and a lot of things happened. I like to quote from Galesburg High School Principal Jeff Houston that said, John had an infectious smile. We heard that already. You're going to hear about his love for people. I like to read from 1 Samuel 9:6, and it states, look in this town, there's a man of God. He is highly respected. This scripture reflects the character of our dear friend, our loved one, our family member, our pastor, our mentor, Jon A. Sibley Sr. He was the epitome of a servant leader. He was never ashamed of the gospel. And if anybody knew him, he would speak to you. He might talk and joke around, but you knew what he was serious about. He loved, he listened, he shared, he cared. He ministered, he clothed, he fed, he blessed, he witnessed, he encouraged, and he labored for the Lord. NAACP Vice President Dwight White said, there's no question about the lasting imprint Reverend Sibley has on our community. And I'd like to cite from a person that wrote a paper about him in school paper, Alex Foley. He interviewed Pastor Sibley a few years before Pastor passed away. Pastor shared this with me, the paper. But the young man, Alex Sibley said, not Sibley, I'm sorry, Foley, he says, the way Pastor Sibley loves everyone he comes in contact with is as far as his strong leadership trait. Just regularly going to lunch with him, I learned a great deal on how to bring light to the darkness. So many people know him because he consistently goes out of his way to show them a glimpse of God's love. A question, a joke, a smile, whatever it takes to warm the heart of another. People are attracted to genuine joy, and he exudes it, unquote. One of our pastor's favorite songs, if you've ever been to our church, and if you haven't been, I'd love for you to come sometime. You won't all fit at the same time, so you got to come at different times. So we got to kind of plan that out. But one of his favorite songs was Jesus is Love by Lionel Richie. And the first verse goes like this: Father, help your children. Don't let them fall by the side of the road. Teach them to love one another, and heaven might find a place in their hearts because Jesus is love. The love of God flows throughout his heart as he exhibited agape love. Agape love does not discriminate. As stated by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., agape love is seeking to preserve and create community. We all need to commit to communicating and continuing the work that was started by Pastor Sibley to create a beloved community here in Galesburg. He shared stories to me about the discrimination that he experienced here when he was growing up. He talked about the discrimination about a division in the lake story, you know, one side being white, one side being black. And I'm here as a newcomer to the community. I'm saying, what's this all about? But he went beyond that. He says, we need to have a testament. He has a testament of character. His character is one that lets us know that this is a new day in Galesburg. Not only will his legacy live on through the family, but he also lives on through everyone he touched. Former president of Carl Sandburg College, Lori Sundberg. I like to quote from her. She's down at Kirkland Community College. She stated, Jon Sibley had a life of dedication to others. He was the real deal. That's what I tell people. He did many things, and he did what he did because he cared. He never sought recognition. He believed in our community. The underpass will serve as a continual reminder of a man who loved his community and served as the bridge between the rich and the poor, the north and the south side of town, between people of color and people who are white in the community. He merged relationships with churches, with Calvary Assembly, with the First Church of the Open Bible. These are the things that he did in his community. He was like the prophet Micah, just paraphrasing from Micah 6. He encouraged others to do what is right and just, to be merciful and compassionate, and to walk humbly before God. Every time we pass this historic landmark, I challenge each one of you to reflect on your favorite memory of Pastor Sibley. His legacy as an ambassador for Christ, champion for justice, for human rights, will forever be memorialized in this underpass. And finally, in my final statements, Psalm 133:1 reads, Behold, how good and pleasant it is for brethren, and meaning brothers and sisters like you that are here today, to dwell together in unity. Let today be a day of hope. Let today be a day of love. Let today be a day of reconciliation in this community. And let today be a day of unity. Just as Pastor Johnny did, let today be the day we move beyond the past, create the preferred future, and create the beloved community of Galesburg as the way it should be. Thank you for being here.
At this point, I'd like to present Vicki with a plaque that will be eventually displayed upon this underpass. And of course, you've seen it before. I think the most important words spoke at that luncheon a couple of years ago. And I think this epitomizes his thought and the way he lives his life. I believe you've got to help somebody else, to help somebody else. So with that, I'll bring this plaque over in a second. Also, I'll go ahead and read the city resolution naming the underpass after the Reverend Jon A. Sibley Sr. Whereas the state of Illinois and the city of Galesburg, Illinois are jointly constructing an underpass of the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad tracks located on East Main Street. And whereas Jon A. Sibley was a lifelong resident and supporter of the city of Galesburg, and whereas Jon A. Sibley devoted his professional life to bettering his community through his service in the United States Air Force, Galesburg Police Department, and Illinois State Police. And whereas Jon A. Sibley faithfully supported his community as the pastor of the Full Gospel Church. And whereas Jon A. Sibley provided leadership to the community through his involvement in many community organizations, including Carl Sandburg College Board of Trustees, Street Stats Mentoring Program at Galesburg High School, Galesburg Fire and Police Commission, Galesburg Chapter of the NAACP, Knox County YMCA Board, Knox County Teen Court Board, the Knox County Drug Court Board, and whereas Jon A. Sibley was awarded the Galesburg Chamber of Commerce Thomas B. Herring Community Service Award, and whereas Jon A. Sibley left a significant and lasting impact on the city of Galesburg through his dedication, caring, and wisdom, now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Galesburg, Knox County, Illinois, Section 1, the East Main Street Underpass shall be named and officially referred to hereafter as the Reverend Jon A. Sibley Sr. Underpass. Section 2, this resolution shall be in full force and effect from its passage and approval. Approved the 16th day of October, 2017. So with that, I'd love to give you say about Jon Sibley, and I think it sums up, we hear things like servant leader and so forth, which are accurate and correct. I just think he was a person that had the ability to change people's lives for the better, and did so. Now, from this point forward, we'll actually be talking about the underpass itself. So, and of course, a major project. Obviously, Governor Renner already talked about the safety aspect. We all know how it will improve first responder times to get to the different parts of the city. Burlington Northern Railroad has been a huge employer in the community and support. Their success has meant more trains, longer trains, and so these various grade separations are needed to improve safety and the ability of citizens to get around the community in a timely manner. And so with that, I'd love to introduce Andy Williams from BNSF to speak.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here. As I listened to John's speech, I started to think maybe the mayor was upset with me, putting me behind a guy that spoke so eloquently about this community. So thank you, Mayor, for putting a little space between that and my speech. But it's proof, and it's testament to the good work he did here. And it's evident that our communities here are not just about so much the infrastructure all the time. It's oftentimes about the people that live and make up the community. And I think the Reverend was certainly someone that will have a lasting impact. And I personally discussed this in your speech, so thank you very much. I don't have to tell you, BNSF has a long, rich, deep history here in Galesburg. It's probably one of the proudest places on our network. For those of you who don't know, We have about 32,500 miles of track in 28 states and 3 Canadian provinces. So we have a lot of training.